Good morning, good people of the world. Today is Tuesday, January 7th, 2025. Here we are, west of Sin City and east of Death Valley in Area 51 territory known as Pahrump or Pahrumpertucky, you choose. But here we are, career services, where our goal is to help our students and other interested people on their journey through this life, where during the week we try to give you the practical tools to get through this life in the best possible way, heading towards the destination with the belief that we have a transcendent soul, which is kind of interesting if we think in terms of the Jewish mindset at the first century Palestine, where we didn't have a soul. It was the resurrection of the body. So Jesus's body was resurrected. Jesus's body went into ascended into heaven, where today we look at it as, no, it's the soul and the body are separate. Back then, you are asleep. Your body is asleep. Your body is there. Today, it's like, no, that's just the vehicle that carried your spirit. Anyway, digression. So during the week, we focus on physical, mental, and emotional things. Weekend is G School, where we focus on the spiritual side, because we should consider this all as a preparation for what's next. So if the destination is Disneyland, this is the journey to Disneyland. And the better prepared we are for Disneyland, the better prepared we are for the journey, the better we are at doing the things that occur during the journey. Like if we're driving in a car, the better the driver we are, the better the experience is going to be. We'll get to Disneyland better, quicker, etc., safer, etc. So if we think about it that way, this is the journey to Disneyland, whatever your Disneyland is. This is the journey to that. Now, interestingly, we have some people that I'm talking to say things like, well, I want to go home. This is not where I belong. And that could be interpreted, well, the journey is not where I belong. I belong at the destination. I can't wait to get to the destination. And that's true. But it's like, yeah, but you can't get there until you do the journey first. You got to take the journey before you get to Disneyland. You can't, no matter what it is, even if you have a TARDIS, you still have that brief instant of time where you go from being here to there. And today, most people would drive, right? At least if you're in the West, or if you're in California, most people probably don't drive. They probably take a plane, but whatever, it doesn't matter. You drive. That's the journey. And the better you are prepared for the destination, and the better you're able to handle the journey, the better, sooner you'll get there, and the better the experience will be. All right, so that's a long-winded way of our introduction. And again, this is primarily designed, Department of Career Services, designed for people who are not saved and not successful. Because if you are saved, you don't need to learn about it. And if you are successful, all are welcome, but it's not designed for you. It's not designed for people who are saved and or successful, but all are welcome. And if you do join, you should take the view of being a student, not a critic. Try to put yourself in the mindset of somebody who is not a Christian or somebody who is not successful, and see this the way they might see it, not the way that you say, well, I did it this other way, or, here's what I believe. There's not really much point doing it. Okay, so how are you today? What not a bevy? Soup. What type of soup? All right, so our meme of today, D+T+E+R to the power of more. So what does that mean? That's from Darren Hardy today. Do more and think more and experience more and reflect more. That's what he's saying to do. Do more, think more, experience more, reflect more. And the importance probably goes to if you reflect more on your experiences. Don't have experiences without reflection. Reflection is key. That leads, well, what do I reflect on? My experiences. Oh, I might need more experiences. What? And then you think about it, then you do it. So the order we do it is this way. The importance is this way. Or maybe it's circular. Who knows? The shadow do. Advice from an 80-year-old. Never give up on anybody. Miracles happen every day. What else we got? We got Seth Godin, busyness and leverage. When I made breakfast this morning, I didn't begin by making the blender. Someone else, a team with more skills, resources, and scale, built the blender. I simply bought it. That seems obvious. No one expects a from-scratch baker to make their baking powder. And yet, our products are rarely fine-tuned around leverage. Begin with this question. What are you hiring yourself to do? Are you making that choice because your labor is cheap and convenient, or because it's the place of maximum leverage? It's often easier to be busy than it is to be productive. Busy is a morally superior distraction. Busy gets us off the hook. Busy is a great place to hide. On the other hand, productive can be scary. When you're buying someone else's skill and time, you're making a different sort of commitment. Your job might not be to do your job. Your job might be to make the decisions and commitments needed to lead other people who do your former job. The calculation is simple. If a commercial project is worth doing, what's the most direct, cheapest, and fastest way to get it done well? There's nothing wrong with hiring yourself to do things you enjoy, and it's imperative that when you embrace leverage to get projects done, you produce work you're proud of. Shipping junk at scale is not the point. Blah, blah, blah. It's quite a long one. The end result, find the resources you need and figure out how to work with them. Then hire someone else who might make someone else to make a blender. Okay, well, I apologize to Seth Godin. Did not do him justice on that. Soup's up. Excellent point. Blessed and excited for the day. Good. So when do you think you're going to start your new job? And you get a free membership. Okay, so let's see. Let's talk about yesterday, because there was nothing posted yesterday. No video posted, no worksheet posted. It was a busy day. It was a good day. And it started off with the results of communication breakdown. When you have an attitude of, I'm going to prove I'm right and they're wrong, it's easy to step back and watch people fail. Where early on you could have pointed out, hey, that's slippery footing right there. Be careful. You can just easily point it out, save a catastrophe. You see somebody might be going over the edge, and you don't help them. You don't help them go over the edge. You just don't point out a little tiny thing. So we had a whole series of this should have happened, this should have happened, this should have happened, this should have happened. Or to look at it from the other side is this thing that didn't happen in itself was no big deal. This thing that didn't happen in itself was no big deal. This thing in itself that didn't happen, and this thing in itself that didn't happen was no big deal. But you string them all together and it becomes a big deal. So that resulted in my having to go to Pratt to see somebody, to take that person then to the hospital, where almost 3 hours were wasted, only to basically be told in a kind, very kind way by the doctor, this is what happens when people who need the medication don't take the medication and they get highly agitated. This is what happens. So, sir, make sure that the people are taking the meds that they should be taking and reduce anxiety whenever possible. If that was our attitude on Sunday, Monday, I would not have had to go to the hospital and deal with the doctor who once before had given me a shortcut. Oh, here's all you need to do. Boom. Okay, in this case, here's all you need to do. Make sure she takes her meds and let her sleep. Cool. Bonk. Except when she woke up, she was still agitated and walked off, walked down the street to buy a pack of cigarettes. Because she's an adult woman, after all, she can do that. Nobody thinks of, something bad might happen if she does that. It's, well, I'm busy right now, and she shouldn't have walked off. Bonk, 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 walks down to a store. Something is said by the clerk or someone in the store that's kind of minor, and then the knee-jerk response, the reaction, the under stress reaction causes the thing to escalate. Police come, our person taken to jail. We can go all the way back to the beginning and say, well, what caused the anxiety? The anxiety was caused by parole and probation telling her she had to leave. But doing it in a very sneaky, underhanded, quasi-legitimate, not legitimate way, which instead of being direct and saying, here's your choice, next Tuesday, you are either moved out of where you are now, or we are going to detain you. Instead of doing that or putting it in writing, it's a threat where they aren't going to actually do it. They're going to scare you. And then when you do it, the report says probation person voluntarily left, because we can't force them to go. Under the law, we cannot violate their parole because of their housing, which, by the way, we have no infractions on. We have no, it's the best place they could be. The place is very neat, clean, quiet, etc. There's no reason for her not to be there. So we have no legitimate reason to move. We just don't want her there because we don't like a person there. So now you have a person who was homeless, living in a trailer with no power, water, utilities, who wasn't bathing because that was the best way to ward off potential rapists, person who spent a year in jail for trespassing because she didn't have adequate legal representation and it was easier just to kick the can down the field. And parole and probation's two places, go check these out. One is $3,300 a month. Hey, that's super. But if you only have $600 a month, it doesn't help. And it's likely that she wouldn't be able to stay. The other place was affordable, around $600 a month, but they're not going to tolerate erratic behavior. So saying, here's your two choices, pick one of these, are really no choice. And somebody who's mentally unbalanced, into seeing a psychiatrist regularly. Very, very bad, not good. There's the anxiety. There's the thing. Tick, tick, tick. The clock is ticking away. One less day, one less day. They told me I have to move. They never said we're going to detain you, because I asked her that question. No, you have to move. You have to move. You have to move. So, anxiety, never going away, not taking the meds, boom, echo chamber. Now the only thing that you think about is I have to move. I'm not taking my meds and not taking my sleeping pill, not getting good sleep, getting very agitated. So that's what caused it. And where did it end up? In jail. So now how does it play out? Well, I probably should go to the jail to be there so I can speak up on her behalf. Get on the record what happened. And the worst place for her to be is in jail. Just playing this out of my head. But anyway, that's why we didn't have anything posted yesterday. So it was a busy day. Today's going to be another busy day. This is Tuesday, trip to Vegas day. Yes, I get to go to Las Vegas, Lost Wages. And then I have a whole bunch of other stuff going. School starts tomorrow night, 6 o'clock to 9. Zoom calls, etc. And what else? I don't know, something probably good. But let's go back to our theme. Do more, think more, experience more, reflect more. That leads to wisdom. Wisdom is experience plus reflection. Not enough to just do the same thing over again. You don't get wisdom by doing the same thing over again. You get wisdom by having experiences and reflecting upon them. Use them as learning experiences. Build upon them. Use what you learned to do other new experiences. Do more. Think more. So do more would be like related to experience more, right? So when you do more, you have more experiences. When you reflect more, you have to think more in order to reflect. So I think that's kind of cool. It's not a palindrome, but it's kind of cool. So with that, Wada Bevy, you're the only one here. No, she has not called. Hopefully this weekend. Excellent point. Hopefully this weekend. I hope so. I'm assuming so. LOL. She has not called. Doesn't have my number saved in her brain. They don't let you use your cell phone. Take it in there. Such a tragic situation. Correct. And it makes me think of, for want of a nail, a shoe was lost, right? For want of a shoe, a horse was lost. For want of a horse, a message was not delivered. For want of a delivered message, a battle was lost. For want of a battle, a war was lost. For want of a war, an empire was lost. That's how things ratchet up. Little things ripple across time and can have big consequences. Who knows? If we had said to her on Sunday, if you don't do this, you're going to be in jail in 2 days. Or we had said to our people, if we don't do this, she is going to be in jail in 2 days. So we have to take this as a lesson. All right, so that's it. Time is up. Time is racing. And cut. Bonk, 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 cut.